This is red. All right. Jaya Radha Madhava Kundabiya Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kundabiya Hare No Madhava Kundabiya Hare Gopi Janabalabha Irivanadhati Gopi Janabalabha Irivanadhati Lapa Iri Bharatani Suranandana Rajajanu Ranjana Suranandana Rajajanu Ranjana Yamuna Tera Manachare Yamuna Tera Manachare Jai Radha Madhuva Kunna Bihare Jai Radha Madhuva Kunna Bihare Gopi Jana Balaba Iri Vanadhari Gopi Jana Balaba Iri Vanadhari Suranandana Braja Jalaranjana Suranandana Braja Jalaranjana Jamuna Tera Manachare Yamuna Tera Manachari Jayo Radhu Madhava Kunya Bihari Jayo Radhu Madhava Kunya Bihari Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Paravidikacharya also Tada Satashi Shimad His Divine Grace Abhaya Chananand Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Go Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Shyamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Machuranam Ki Jai Jagannath Swami Ki Jai Yamunamaya Ki Jai Shrimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Samaniti Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharni Nirvishesha Srinyavadi Paschacha Deshatarni. So today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto 76 chapter texts 9 to 11. And we're just going to do text 9 responsively and we'll read the other text. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nivrudya Sneha Shavo Mahatya Bharatarshava Purim Babanjo Pavanam Udyanani Cha Sarvasha Nirujasiniya Shavo Mahatya Bharatashava Purim Babanjo Pavanan Ujanani Chasarvasha Niruja Sinihas Shavo Macha Bharatashava Purim Babanjo Pavanan Ujanani Chasarvasha Niruja Sinihas Shavo Macha Bharatashava Purim Babanjo Pavanan Ujanani Chasarvasha. Okay. That's it. All right. Oops, I'll read the other Sanskrit verses. So, Sasa Purani Dwarani Prasadatta Lulika Tolika Viharan Savimanagran Nipetu Shastra Vishtaya Shiladrumas Chasanaya Sarpa Asara Shakara Prachandas Chakravato Bud Rajasat Chaditadasha. So word by word. Synonyms. Nivaruja, besieging. Senaya, with an army. Shalva, Shalva. Mahatya, large. Bharata, Rishabha, O best of the Bharatas. Hold on a second, skipped. Okay. Anyway, it skipped. my thing's skipped here. Okay. Purim, the city. Babanja, he broke up. Upavanan, the parks. Ujanani, gardens. Cha, and. Sarvasha, all around. Sagopurani, with towers. Dwarani, and gateways. Prasada, mansions. Atala, observatories. Tolika, and surrounding walls. Viharan, recreational areas. Sa, he, Shalva. Vimana, of airships. Agriyat, from the best. Nipetu, there fell. Shastra, of weapons. Vishtaya, torrents. Shila, stones. Druma, and trees. Cha, also. Ashanaya, thunderbolts. Sarpa, snakes. Asara Sharkara, and hailstorms. Prachanda, fierce. Chakravata, a whirlwind. Abut, arose. Rajasa, with dust. Achadita, covered. Disha, all the directions. So translation, Shava besieged the city with a large army. O best of the Bhartas, decimating the outlying parks and gardens, the mansions along with their observatories, towering gateways and surrounding walls, and also the public recreational areas. From his excellent airship, he threw down a torrent of weapons, including stones, tree trunks, thunderbolts, snakes, and hailstones. A fierce whirlwind arose and blanketed all directions with dust. So very short commentaries here, we can read them. None by the followers of Srila Prabhupada, but there's Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who comments that Shalva with troops destroyed walls, Tulika, and amusement areas, Vihoran. From the excellent Soba aircraft, he threw various weapons on the city. And Jiva Goswami states, 3 verses describe his attack. He covered the city completely with troops. Shukadev calls out to Parikshit in amazement, O best of the Bharatas, or he comforts him as he worries about those dear to him. As the best of your dynasty, you know the power of the Lord. You should not worry at all. Shalva was intent on destroying the city, Babanja. The word is used to indicate destruction that was supposed to happen in the near future. However, he could not destroy the city. In order to destroy the outer gates and other gates, he constantly showered Ni Batu weapons. Fierce whirlwinds blew in front of the vehicle. Dust arose because of the whirlwind's strong revolutions. So, Om Gana Timidanda Shah, Gadanjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam, Yena Tasmai Shi Gurve Namaha. Also, I want to read from Krsna book first. Shalva thus attacked the city of Dwarka from the sky, and he also surrounded the city by a large number of infantry. The soldiers on the surface attacked the beautiful spots of the city. They began to destroy, this is from Krsna book, the nice parks, the city gates, the palaces, and skyscraper houses, skyscrapers, the high walls around the city, and the beautiful spots where people would gather for recreation. Wow, recreation. While the soldiers attacked on the surface, the airplane began to drop big slabs of stone, tree trunks, thunderbolts, poisonous snakes, and many other dangerous things. Shalva also managed to create such a strong whirlwind within the city that all of Dwarka became dark because of the dust that covered the sky. The airplane occupied by Shalva put the entire city of Dwarka into distress, equal to that caused on the earth long, long ago by the disturbing activities of Triparasura. The inhabitants of Dwarkapuri became so harassed that they were not peaceful even for a moment. Prabhupada Ki Jai. So let's examine, well, actually first, before we examine these things, it's interesting to note that in the city of Dwarka, Krishna's city, there was arrangement for all the necessities of the citizens. You know, you have parks, recreation place, observatories. Actually, you find that this understanding of the heliocentric point, which means heliocentric means the sun is the center and the other planets go around it. That came from India many, many years ago. Different astronomers, different mathematicians and astronomers, Aryabhat, and many others, actually originated the modern science that Newton and others, and our friend Galileo, understood. So you actually find mathematics, science, astronomy actually coming from India. But it's not properly appreciated because the British people and others wanted to impose this whole Aryan invasion theory upon our consciousness, upon the Indians' consciousness, so they could exploit India. But actually, everything was there in Indian culture. This is 5,000 years, over 5,000 years ago, everything was there. And the people's needs were being taken care of. Because everybody needs recreation, right? Even the word recreation can be understood as recreation. You need rest. Krishna in the Gita makes it very clear that people should be moderate in their bodily activities. Mityahara viharasha. In other words, not eating too much, not eating too little, not playing basketball all day long. But, you know, one game, or tennis. You know, we have one of our devotees who likes to play tennis, just had a hip surgery. Won't mention his name. Anyway, so, just moderate in everything we do. And that way our needs can be fulfilled and society can function. So sometimes we look at the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, isn't it? Nidrahara Vihara. You know, they gave up eating, they gave up sleeping. And I was just reading, the reason they were able to give up, of course, not only that they were enthusiastic about serving Krishna, they loved Krishna so much, but they had spiritual bodies. It's interesting that when you actually, maybe not you, but when a devotee performs devotional service, absorbed in Krishna's service, and then ultimately understands what their Siddhadeha, their eternal spiritual body, progresses in devotional service, the body becomes transformed. Now, it's not to say that that body is eternal or anything like that, but it becomes transformed. It becomes transformed into spirit. Therefore, we take the pure devotee's body and we put it into what? A samadhi. We don't just burn the body of a pure devotee. It becomes transformed. And so because it's transformed into spirit, therefore the person doesn't, doesn't need to eat as much or sleep as much or anything like that. So, we find Prabhupada executing many austerities like that in his life, in his pastimes. However, Prabhupada did give us an example of not to impose too many austerities on the body while we're still in this sadhaka stage. Even though Prabhupada was an absolutely pure devotee, he could have taken a little buttermilk every 2 days like what Raghunath Das Goswami did. He could have forgotten that. He set us an example. He had a very balanced life. Prabhupada had massages every day. Not that everybody should have massages. That's not the point. But to keep his health together, he took a morning walk to keep his health together. He had a balanced diet. And he did the needful. He wasn't into so many little details of austerity. I mean, I was just reading yesterday, I sent it out on the conference, and not many of you read it, of course, that there was some discussion about Chaturmasha. Did you read it? Anyone read the posting? I mean, no. Anyway, so Chaturmasha, you have fasting, there's the yogurt fast, the milk fast, spinach fast, and non-veg fast, which means like heavy protein, even vegetarian protein. Anyway, so Prabhupada was in India. Was it India or the West? I forget exactly where it was. And it was really hot out. It's an interesting story. Really hot. And Prabhupada said, well, it's really hot. I should have some yogurt. And they said to Prabhupada, we don't have any yogurt in the temple. Prabhupada said, what are you doing? There's no yogurt in the temple? And you know the story. You read the story. There's no yogurt in the temple in the hot middle of summer? And they said, well, it's Chaturmas. And Prabhupada said, it was, very practical person. Prabhupada said, well, first of all, he said, Chaturmas is only for sannyasis. He's been a sannyasa 11 years or 12 years or something like that. He said, I've been a sannyas for more, but bring me yogurt anyway. Basically, I'm just paraphrasing it. So I'm going to take yogurt because I need yogurt. So, and Prabhupada said, only sannyasis who want to follow it. It's interesting, isn't it? You read that. Only sannyasis who want to follow it. Of course, I do follow it because my normal diet is actually, I wouldn't eat any of those things anyway. That's another issue. But not because I'm proudly following it, but because the diet I have doesn't include any of those 4 items. So So it's interesting that Prabhupada was setting us an example. Just be practical. Just be practical. We're in the real world. Be practical. You know, you want to preach? Do the needful. Don't pull out all these Vedic conjunctions. Actually, this is one of the topics. I'll get to that topic in a second, okay? But another thing I wanted to mention here was quite interesting. Remind me to get to the topic of Vedic conjunctions in a second. So it was very interesting. I was noting down that Shalva's attack was so interesting. Not only was it torrent of weapons, you know, thunderbolts and everything like that. You know, there's like modern weapons, like laser beams, isn't it? You know, thunderbolts, it was laser beams. And it's so interesting. And not only that, biological weapons. What are the biological weapons? Nobody knows. Snakes. Poison. Biological weapons. You know, that's outlawed, of course, even nowadays. So he was engaged. And then also meteorological manipulation. You know, sometimes the United States is accused, isn't it? They have all these antennas up north, and they say, well, they're manipulating the weather. So Shalva was able to do that. You know, creating whirlwinds, bewildering everybody, you know, psychological manipulation too. He's quite a modern fighter, quite a dirty fighter, at the least. So, all right, so I said I would get back to this other thing. So, taking this, sort of indirect way of getting back to the original subject, taking this as an attack on Dwarka, okay, all right, and Dwarka is filled with Krishna's devotees. On the other hand, many of the personalities in Dwarka are demigods, or actually Sakama devotees, not pure devotees. It's interesting, because many of the members of the Yadu dynasty were demigods coming down from the heavenly planets. So in any case, they're devotees, and they're getting attacked. And they're getting attacked by all these different weapons. So why do devotees get attacked by all these weapons? Well, so they can take shelter of Krishna, so they can pray to Krishna, call for Krishna. And of course, we're going to find in the next few verses, Prajuna is going to try to go out and take care of Shalva, and ultimately, it's going to take Krishna to do that. So we find many instances in history, in the Puranic histories, where devotees are attacked. And of course, there's the Pandavas, there's the Prahlad Maharaj. There's so many different devotees who get attacked. Let me have a list here of some of the devotees. Okay, there's Ambarish Maharaj. Sanatan Goswami gets attacked by the Sauras, which we heard about yesterday. And this is always to bring the devotees closer to Krishna, to enhance their devotional service, which is, even if they're pure devotees, it enhances, because devotional service or devotion is not static. You know, even, let's say even we are advancing, hopefully advancing in devotional service. I understand we're not pure devotee, or at least I'm not. So, but how can pure devotees advance more? Does that mean they're lacking something? No, they're not lacking anything. But they're advancing because devotional service is dynamic. There's no end to the love. Like Prabhupada gives the example, you could shine a light into space and it goes on forever, or you shine it into a box. It stops at a certain point. So devotees love, ecstasies, emotions. They grow exponentially at every moment, these pure devotees. How's that possible? Not in a material body. If you have a material body, if you experience some of these bhavas, some of this Sanchari bhavas, you would die. You would die immediately. So these are experienced in a spiritual body. So, using a particular metaphor which I came up with is that, okay, these devotees are getting attacked. So we are also getting attacked, too, at the same time. Of course, you could look at different types of attacks we have. One type of attack is, the old age, disease, all these problems, adhyatmik, adhibodhik, adhidaivik. We're getting attacked by those. We're also getting attacked, well, that's our own mind, too. Our own stubbornness, our own anarthas. We're getting attacked in this particular way. But we're also getting attacked on a movement-wide basis, not from the outside world. These are not things that can actually impede the progress of our movement, but we're getting attacked internally by, getting back to the whole Vedic thing, by different misunderstandings of what Krishna consciousness is, rather than Srila Prabhupada's presentation. And of course, even Srila Bhaktisaranta Saraswati Thakur, he had a dream one time that he was getting attacked by these people called the Bowls. You heard about them before? B-A-U-L-S. Anyway, there's one of the deviant Sahaja groups. You understand? Sahaja. Deviant groups. Actually, it's not just Sahaja. There's Smartas and the Goswamis, like that. Not Goswamis like me. But there's the hereditary Goswamis, or the, Nityananda Vamsa, and all these people. And sometimes the attack from all these different agents who ostensibly are Krishna conscious or part of the Krishna consciousness movement, and that can impede our progress, or impede the progress of the Krishna conscious movement. And sometimes it even takes physical form. Like when Srila Bhaktisaranta Saraswati Thakur was doing parikrama, they were throwing stones, and actually there were attempts on his life, isn't it? And he had to switch clothes with Keshava Maharaj, who wasn't Keshava Maharaj at that time, he was a brahmachari. And so he put on the brahmachari clothes, and his disciple put on the sannyas clothes, and this way Srila Bhaktisaranta Saraswati Thakur was able to escape. And also we see it that even in the case of Ramanuja, his disciple Quresh dressed up as Ramanujacharya and confronted this king, and the king put his eyes out. I mean, it's just... So there's actually attacks in the name of Vedic or Krishna consciousness or all sorts of things like that. So getting to the point. So we see this like in our Krishna consciousness movement. There's all sorts of different, deviations or misunderstandings. For example, one of them I'm dealing with right now. Sorry, I'm not going to get specific. One of them I'm dealing right now is that people can think they can pick and choose different Vedic literatures, not just the Vaishnava literatures. I mean, the Vaishnava literatures, the Goswami literatures, we accept those wholly and solely. Those are transcendental literatures, just like we were hearing yesterday. Such a beautiful class, isn't it? I mean, I was in ecstasy, or happy, at least. Ecstasy I've never experienced. But anyway, so I was happy hearing the descriptions of Govardhan, all from the, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. That's wonderful. We want to hear all these different quotes from those who are in our line. But then we have some people who take different quotes, whatever really justifies their own particular POV, point of view. You understand? Different quotes for different shlokas, or different folks, different shlokas for different folks. So, it's really interesting to see this, and you can prove anything, of course, Trigunya Vishaya Veda, Nis Trigunya Bhavarjana. The Vedas are mainly dealing with the 3 modes of nature, right? And you can prove that it's okay to offer go to the goddess Kali once a month. Nobody's doing that. They don't go that far. And say Mamsa Kadati and enjoy goat meat. But you can prove it, all sorts of things, without consideration of what is actually, or what quotes have been given to us by our Vaishnavacharyas. That's the importance of Sampradaya. Something up there. You're looking up there. Krishna's coming down. Shalva's coming to kill us. Anyway, so it's an interesting discussion. And it ultimately comes to the point of Prabhupada. What is Prabhupada's position as the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness? That how do we follow Prabhupada? Of course, there is understanding that we have Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. Prabhupada's authority rests on Shastra, right? But then you can say, well, let's go back to the Chaturmasya thing again. Shastra says, Chaturmasya, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, is Prabhupada doing something wrong? That's a question you can ask. The Prabhupada said, well, you could say, well, it's time, place, and manner. Prabhupada, all right, I guess I could be more specific. Prabhupada had ladies do deity worship. Was that wrong? Was it simply an adjustment that should have been made only for the moment, but Prabhupada really didn't want to do it long term? I mean, that's a question people raise. That's actually going on, that particular discussion. So, did Prabhupada change the Siddhanta for preaching purposes? It's another one. Prabhupada said we came back to home, back to Godhead. Prabhupada was just saying that to appease us because we were never back home, back to Godhead. Krishna consciousness is not inherent. Anyway, so there's discussions going. Because you could pull quotes, misunderstand quotes, even from Jiva Goswami, you could misunderstand quotes, citations from Jiva Goswami. So we have to understand Prabhupada's position as a Shaktavesh avatar who would never change the Siddhanta, but would only adjust details that are not essential and present us the essential elements according to time, place, and circumstance. Just like I was just hearing Prabhupada's class of Bhagavatam, and he was describing that in different ages, different rules and regulations are applicable, different injunctions are applicable. There was this whole discussion about Kali Yuga, which we're in right now, in case you haven't figured it out, that Kaler Doshan and Ha Rajan Asjeko Mahad Gunat Kirtanadeva Krishna Mukta Sangha Paramajat. That all you need to be Krishna conscious is engage in Nam Kirtan. I mean, because we do other things. And this Nam Kirtan is open to everybody. Dina, Hina, Yata Chilo, Hari Nam, it doesn't matter. Kiva Vipra, Kiva Nyasi, Shuja, I mean, anyway, all these things. And of course, you can go into the Vedas and present opposing opinions like this. I mean, in the Mahabharata, there's the story that Vyasadeva was talking to a worm. I've mentioned that story before. And the worm was squiggling across the road because he was going to get squished. And Vyasadeva told him that, he didn't say Hare Krishna. He said, your next life, you'll go up the evolutionary path, and eventually you'll become a Shudra, and a Vaishya will be my disciple. Eventually you'll be what? Kshatriya, eventually a Brahmin, eventually be a good devotee and go back to home, back to God. You read that, it's very depressing, Here I am, no better than a worm, I got billions of lifetimes to go. So, but, it's just like Prabhupada's presentation, we see the Vedas through the lens of Srila Prabhupada's presentation. We see the process of executing devotional service according to Prabhupada's example. That's what it means to have Prabhupada as the founder Acharya. Otherwise, you can get very confused and everything will be lost, be deviated. You'll be deviated from the goal and the process of Krishna consciousness and the whole preaching of the Krishna consciousness movement, which is being attacked at this moment by these different types of misunderstandings, becomes impeded or divided. The movement becomes divided if we don't understand this very, very simple point. So, any questions or comments? We got about half a minute.
All these deviations where we start trying to understand different nuances.
Yeah.
In a way, reminds me how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a little different, said, well, they're just fighting over which room they're going to get in the temple.
Yeah.
It's like they're fighting over these details that take away from the mission.
The details, which are actually run in opposition, to what Prabhupada taught. Prabhupada wanted all of his qualified disciples, followers, to become leaders. Men, women, whoever they were, and gurus. Prabhupada wanted that. He wanted an army of gurus in the Krishna consciousness movement. He wanted equal facility for people to serve Krishna. This is a really important point. Regardless of who they were, he wanted to give equal facility that everyone can serve Krishna. That's why he put people from Western background, whatever their gender is, right on the stage worshiping Radha and Krishna in front of everybody. That was revolutionary. Nobody did that before. To have Westerners, people like me, dancing white or tan elephants, because everybody's got, pink from the sun. They had sunburn anyway. So he put them on the stage. He said, right in their face. You understand? This is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right in your face. You better get on the train. Don't try to derail it. Anyway, I think we have to end now. All glories to Srila
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Marhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
The E string. I can play without it, but it doesn't sound as good. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Ramaniti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurmani Bachar Neke Nili Sesha Shunyavadi Masya Jade Zatarade Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaurata Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Nirana Ramanichanana Siatweta Godada Sivasadi Noratubrena Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Jai Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jayat Agurukyanana Gurukyanana Radhe Jayat Agurukyanana Gurukyanana Radhe Jaya Radhe 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 Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Jai Om Vishnu Pad. Paramahamsa Acharya Sata Shri Shima Abhaya Charana Bhakti-Lamba Ki Jai. All glorious the assembled. All glorious the assembled. All glorious to Shri Guru Gauranga Shalom.
Harinam Sankirtan tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock. We'll meet at Weaver Street Market. It's last Friday, which is a big thing here in Hillsborough. And we'll be doing Nagar Sankirtan through town, past the restaurants and everybody who's going to be hanging out. Please come. Chaitodarpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Haribo Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pradipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Namakari Bahudani Jasarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Ajjanina Anuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Turorapi Suhishuna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadaram Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadishakamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitanam Bhavanam Kripayata Vabada Pankajas Tita Duli Sadrashim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadashru Daraya Varanam Gad Gadarudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Bravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Padamritam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatulam Pato Mat Prananatastu Saeva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krsna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand and end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally.
So Daya Radhika addressed the deities today with great devotion.